A group calling itself the 21st Battalion of North Idaho's Lightfoot Militia says national media coverage depicted the group in the wrong light.
The militia was featured on ABC's Nightline earlier this year. Members say they're upholding Idaho's state constitution by organizing and preparing for the worst, but not everyone agrees, and even the governor says he doesn't want their help. KXLY4's Tania Dall met up with one of the group's top leaders and sat down with a one-on-one with one of the militia's most outspoken critics to find out what the group is really about. Tania?
Well, the 21st Lightfoot Militia will tell you it's less about shooting guns and more about helping the community. But one critic claims the militia is a paramilitary group, learning military tactics that seem a little extreme for a citizens' militia. Dressed in camo gear, shooting automatic weapons at bales of hay, this ABC Nightline footage shows a recent training day in Boundary County for the 21st Battalion of North Idaho's Lightfoot Militia.
The actual gunplay, as they tend to think of it as, is maybe 10% of what we do. I mean, most people already know how to shoot the guns they own.
Members like Willard, who didn't want to use his full name, say the militia is less about guns and more about helping the community.
We have people who are experienced carpenters, roofers, landscapers, heavy equipment operators, and we donate these services to the elderly who need them.
The EMT firefighter joined the militia 5 months ago and teaches members basic first aid. Willard maintains being a part of the battalion is his patriotic duty.
Nobody hopes for bad times, but it's our constitutional duty, we feel, that we have to be ready just in case.
The group calls itself a constitutional militia and was founded by Major Jeff Stankovich a year ago. The unemployed welder said he doesn't support health care reform or gay marriage.
The states were supposed to be different. So that way I could live in a state that believes and live around people that believe the same sort of things that I believe for the most part. And liberals, if they wanted to live in another state, all around people who believe what they believe.
Willard is Stankovich's right-hand man. He says the 21st Lightfoot Militia isn't anti-government and doesn't want to be mixed up with the Hitari military of Michigan. 9 Hitari members were arrested in March, accused of trying to launch a war against the United States.
Their goals, I think, are misguided. Too many of them. And I'm sure I'll probably hear about this because they'll come back and go, well, you don't know what you're talking about.
Visit the 21st Lightfoot's website and you'll find a 69-page standards manual, complete with a code of conduct, a rank outline, a uniform guide, an evacuation chapter, and information on guerrilla warfare. The militia boasts 70 to 100 members spread out through Boundary, Bonner, and Kootenai counties.
How many people do you know have a need to know how to use a 50 caliber machine gun or a Laws rocket launcher, how to deal with landmine warfare or conduct guerrilla warfare? But
outspoken critics like John Ivey don't buy the militia's agenda. The Sandpoint resident wants the group out of his backyard.
I don't care how you want to look at it. Everything they're studying, everything they're talking about is right there on the fine line of sedition.
Ivey is a Vietnam veteran. He is openly opposed to the militia and wants to warn the public.
These people, they're putting up a false image, and people are getting duped to joining them, thinking that, you know, they're being patriots.
We don't have a hidden agenda. We don't have any clandestine meetings, and we don't do anything that's illegal.
The 21st Lightfoot even offered its services to Bonner County Sheriff Darrell Wheeler. The militia asked to work with the sheriff's search and rescue team. But despite the group's website claiming Sheriff Wheeler gave his blessing, Wheeler says calling on the militia is not an option.
We were not going to call someone out to assist us if we don't know what the level of their training is. And I think it wouldn't be prudent on my part to call just anybody out without meeting that criteria.
Militia members aren't required to undergo a background check. As KXLY4 uncovered, Stankovich has a criminal record that includes aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and multiple traffic infractions.
They think they're going to be called up? No way. It's never going to happen. The governor has disavowed them.
In fact, Ivey went as far as writing a letter to Governor Butch Otter about the group, which brought this response. Quote, "I do not in any way endorse either of these militia groups. They have no affiliation with me, the state of Idaho, the Idaho National Guard, or the armed services of the United States. Governor Otter adds, "I do not recommend or advocate any level of involvement in militia activities." A disappointment for these militia men and women who say they need the governor's okay to be activated.
If the governor would read his own constitution, he would discover that it's his duty. It's his job to do that.
As a homegrown battle ensues over the red, white, and blue,
I was a patriot before many of these kids were even born, and I know patriotism.
the 21st Lightfoot Militia plans to forge ahead.
Ready.
After all, members will tell you, you can never be too prepared.
In an emergency, when the National Guard is completely tapped out and you've got nobody else, you're going to try and call somebody.
Go, go, go!
And there are militia groups like the 21st Lightfoot all across the country, hundreds in fact. The Southern Poverty Law Center, a human rights watchdog group, identified 512 Patriot groups in 2009, 11 in Washington and 11 right here in Idaho. Reporting live, Tania Dall, KXLY4, HD News.